Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pairfect, the ultimate lifestyle show where we celebrate the visionaries shaping our world. I'm Dinah Ventura. Today, we have an enlightening guest who's transforming our understanding of ancestry. Anna Reyes is a master practitioner of the Millennium Method, specializing in ancestral clearing and ancestral astrology. Through her innovative protocols, Anna helps individuals uncover generational patterns that affect family dynamics and personal potential. By identifying and clearing ancestral traumas, she restores harmony and frees future generations from past burdens. So interesting. So, without further ado, let's welcome the insightful Anna Reyes.
Hello. Thank
Welcome to
you.
Pairfect.
Thank you.
Wow. It sounds
Hello.
so complicated
It
what you
does.
do.
It
So
does. But yeah,
tell me about it. Like, what are you called in practice, or what do you practice?
I'm an energetic medicine practitioner, but
Okay.
really what I'm really known for more often than like it's a niche that I form na, which is to ancestral clearing. Yun
Okay.
talaga, I started with that.
Ancestral
Yes.
clearing. I mean, for me, it sounds very new. Like, what is it?
Okay, so it's believed kasi in a spiritual sense or belief that when we came to this realm, our soul chose our parents. Our soul chose our parents
Oh,
to
interesting.
match the same frequency
Uh-huh.
of their traumas, their emotional issues, their stories, their burdens, and all of that, which they also picked up from
There.
their parents and up to, the ancestors.
Yes.
So this is needed for the soul to evolve.
Okay.
But there's another, the side naman of Western medicine, there's a term called epigenetics.
Okay.
In epigenetics, it's believed that in our DNA, there's information of all of our ancestors up to the 17th generations back.
Wow.
This is with Western medicine, ha? This is necessary because for our species to evolve and also for our offsprings and future offsprings to evolve as well. So my job basically is to where to get the roots of what issues and blockages my client has, and then we clear it, we strengthen it.
Okay.
That's it.
So, as you were saying earlier, you're unknotting or
Yes,
straightening
so
like
that's one part.
a
Yes.
ball of.
Yes, so any
Wow.
intergenerational trauma issues, and then you'll be seeing it if you see a pattern that you have with money, with relationships, career, even family dynamics.
Yeah.
You can see it also on diseases,
Yes.
like, like if you see like a family, now all the men have issues with their ears, then obviously there's something up with that.
Yeah.
It's
I
something
see.
that we want to work on. So in Western medicine also, epigenetics can be healed through psychotherapy.
Okay.
You talk about your issues, you counsel, and then, kung ano yung mga patterns ng parents mo, and then your lola and all that. According to my mentor, energetically, we can clear it as faster and also up to not
As
even the
far back.
17th generations back, because Western, they say it's that.
Yeah.
In TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, and also energetic medicine, you want to go up to the pinaka root.
The root.
Yes.
The very beginning.
Yes. And if I work on that, I work on the traumas.
I see.
Because these are the things that somehow are still imprinted in our psyche
We carry
when
it
we are born.
over and over again.
Yes, and then the goal is to end the loop.
I see. Oh, wow. How did you get into that in the first place?
Okay, so when I got into, when I was still modeling and producing shows that time, I would make also jewelry. So
I
yeah,
see.
crystals. So I was so into crystals. And then I had a regular Suki, and then apparently she was teaching pranic healing. And then from there, I was so interested because it was really about crystals. So I joined her class, then joined her community, then joined all these modalities, from Reiki, Theta,
Theta healing.
yes, then Millennium Method.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I got to doing this. At the same time also, during when I met Tina, that's her name, I was also going through a transition. I was a new wife and a new mother. So I had a lot of like questions about, you know, basically an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Right. So I was kind of depressive, just gave birth to my daughter. So in hindsight, I was getting postpartum depression.
I see.
So when I met Tina and then joined the classes and the workshops, I really dove into that and really basically embraced my vulnerability. Also embrace my inner demons and really gain a lot of insights from that. And then from there, I realized na this is a fantastic journey, and with the things that I have learned, I'd like to help and guide naman other people with their issues, and the goal is to reach their infinite potential.
Nice.
Well, that's the goal.
But that's like a very specialized kind of knowledge, I suppose, no? How did you study it?
Yun, from taking courses.
Okay.
Classes, courses of Reiki and Theta, because there's a lot of things to do on psychology as well. Like with Ancestral, it was also like, it wasn't like a horse, you know, like parang it was all also in synchronicity and divine intervention kind of thing. Like I bumped into this ancestral clearing prayer.
Okay.
And then I shared it with that time, she was a practitioner that I was going to very often. This is Tin Jacinto. She's
Tin
very
Jacinto.
good. Tin
Tin
Jacinto.
Jacinto.
Yes, and then so I was giving the prayer to her. Hey, use this. You use this because this is awesome. And then she's like, no, you do it. And then so with her encouragement, she gave me. She was like, do it. And then she gave me a deadline, time that you have to do it. After that, you have to do this and that. So I came up with protocols of ancestral clearing of my own. And then the community of Tina, which is the Healing House, was very, very supportive about that. And it grew from there. Okay. Yeah.
What's the Millennium Method? And
Okay.
how does that work in your practice?
So I started with ancestral clearing, right?
Okay.
And then when we got into studying now the Millennium Method, I realized that ancestral clearing was just an influence that weakens us, our psyche, everything. So there are other influences also, like feng shui, astrological influences, karma, past lives, childhood trauma, collective consciousness, karma, as well. So this modality can strengthen all these because it works on the root issues of all 7 levels.
Okay.
So that's physical, mental, emotional, psychological, karma, psychic, and I always forget the last one. Spiritual, did I say?
Spiritual, not yet.
Okay, spiritual.
Okay.
So all 7, and as fast as you can. That's the goal in 1 hour.
Session.
Yes. 1 session is 1 hour.
And you're able to work on all those levels.
My goal
all
is
at
to
once.
make sure that everything is like worked on. So yun nga, the knotted, have I mentioned that kanina? So think of yourself like a knotted yarn, right? And then when you leave the room, it's like all untangled and smooth.
Okay.
Coming out like a ball, smooth ball of yarn. The goal is kasi for you to be neutral about any issues you have.
Okay.
And our job is just to strengthen. When you leave, it's about you doing it.
Yeah, it's up to
So
you.
it's just that momentum we're putting in for you. So as the goal is when you are neutral to your issues, to your problems, then creative solutions comes in, things move in more smoothly for you, and it's easier to move forward.
Okay. Grabe, ang dami kong tanong. But,
Sige lang.
Can you first explain the concept of generational patterns and how they impact our lives today?
Well, it's really, gosh. Okay, it's something like this. When you, I like to work a lot on traumas because that's the major issue talaga why it gets us stuck.
Yeah.
It's always from a trauma. So our very first trauma in relationships will always go back to your mom, to your mother, and to your father.
Right.
Right? So any unprocessed trauma we have with them, we attract the same trauma we're going to attract that because it's been unprocessed. It's still unprocessed.
Okay, all right.
So we have to deal with it in order to work. So that's where loops and patterns comes in. So if you have issues or unprocessed trauma with your father, then most likely you'll repeat that same pattern with men. And then if it's like with your mother, then it's going to be with women.
Okay.
Yes.
I see.
So yun. And then usually then, of course, their trauma, the trauma that you picked up comes from also what they have gone through with their parents. So yun,
Unless somebody breaks that
yes,
pattern.
and is aware. Awareness is the key. If you are aware of it, then you can fix it. You can change it. You can change your belief systems.
Right.
Yeah.
But those things don't happen overnight, right?
Yes, so that's why this one helps it. You call this now with Millennium Method quantum shift. We want it as fast as we can. And it will give you tools for that even. Because usually with intergenerational patterns, that's in our psyche. That's in our unconsciousness. Right?
Okay.
What we want now in our so this unconsciousness is like so huge.
Yeah.
And then what we believe is just this.
Little.
Right? So we want to increase this, to strengthen that, for it to be aligned.
Yeah, but how do you identify those traumas? And
That's when I tune in,
yeah.
and then that's what we work on. And then the lead that I'll get is from the client, right? And when she comes in, or he'll ask lang na parang, I usually have, oh, what's your intention for this
Okay.
clearing,
Uh-huh.
right? So what do you want to work on? Is it money? Is it love life?
Yeah.
Is it with your mother? Or physical? So yun. So we dive into what their intention is. So example, if it's like money, right? Money, so we work on the blueprint. So the money consciousness, the blueprint of, so if it's ancestral, so all this scarcity consciousness that has been handed down from war, from poverty, from all these hardships and sufferings that they have gone through, the information is there, and then that's what we want to strengthen, so that it's not anymore down in our unconsciousness.
Right.
Kasi yun yung mga unwanted loops and patterns that we tend to do.
Yes.
And we go on a self-sabotage. I work a lot also on multiple personalities. On personalities, why you are like that, because an ancestor was like that, a certain archetype. I work a lot on shadows too. I also, so usually also a good example would be if you have an issue with your mother. And what is it that you don't like about your mom? You have to recognize that you are like that too. She is your shadow.
Actually, I've recently started thinking about that. My mom was already, she passed away.
I'm
but-
sorry to hear that, yeah.
And yun parang I noticed certain things about how I react to things that she would do also.
And you
And sabi
are,
ko,
yeah.
oh my God, I'm becoming my mom.
Yeah, so the goal is, because for us, I'm not going to be like her because I hate that part of her.
Yeah.
Right? So instead of doing that and suppressing, because she's also part of us.
Yes, of
Right?
course.
In the DNA.
Yeah.
So instead of rejecting it and suppressing it, because eventually the more we reject and suppress, our psyche will we end up being the monster. You call that the opposite.
The opposite.
You don't want to be the opposite. So you want to just accept that you are like that too.
Okay.
That's we call now the mirror work, mirroring.
Okay.
What
So-
is it that in her that she's projecting to you that you don't like about yourself?
Okay.
And when you accept that part of yourself, then that's where integration comes in. You call that self-compassion, self-trust, unconditional love. Just accepting. So it's really about going within on the projections of whatever issues you have.
Imagine, I mean, I didn't realize that when you say accept yourself just the way you are, it takes so much.
Yes.
Right?
It's-
Because you have to,
Yeah.
just what you said, you have to identify, accept it, and
Yes.
realize how you feel towards that
And it
quality.
takes a lot of work, yeah.
Oh my God.
But that's what you call authentic self also.
Oh.
Right?
So, what can one expect with an ancestral clearing session with you?
Expectations. My goal is that you just be as neutral as possible when you get out of the room.
Okay.
That's it. Just neutral about it.
So, you just really just talk to a person.
Yes, and then I have the deck of cards, and then I'll be switching on the weaknesses that's in you in your auric field.
Okay.
Using the fractal cards that
Yeah.
Millennium Method has, and also by medically intuitive, just switching it on.
I see. Wow.
Yes. So yeah, I'm being just neutral about it. When you're neutral, kasi you're not anymore. You don't want to fix it.
Yeah.
It just happens, and you're
It
just
is.
more accepting.
If parang yan, it is the way it is.
Yes.
When you say that.
Acceptance. Yeah.
Okay. So what about ancestral astrology? Is that a different thing?
Okay, so this one naman came in, this modality came in during the pandemic when I learned astrology from Jeannie Havelosa. Yes.
Okay.
So she's my mentor in astrology. So apparently when I started learning astrology, and I just saw more information there. So planets, where the planets are in the houses, in what house, in what sign, they are archetypes as well. So that gives me more information on how we can dive in. Bale, more of like a surgery of like what's really sticky, and we want to shoot that part and we want to strengthen it. So it's not like the regular astrology reading now, okay, this is your personality, and then when the sun transit or when the Pluto transit in this house, this is what's going to happen to you now, expect this. It's not that. It's more of like evolutionary astrology. Okay, there's a term for that, but I also integrate it with Millennium Method, with how I do the clearing. We clear it. I tell you what it is, and we clear it. Then you're strong at it, and you forget about that.
All right.
That's the goal, yeah.
Galing.
And yeah, there's also other modalities like there's just those are just a few. Meron din houses and wheels. Houses and wheels naman is like we work naman on the transits right now. So kunyari daw Mars retrograde na ngayon. Right? So what's happening there? In what house? And then we clear it also. Yeah.
So like a
lot.
person can keep going back to you to address certain things about
Yes. I also do like
their lives.
Yeah, my niche lang talaga is ancestral clearing. Like if you know Anna Reyes, ancestral clearing, ganon. But there are other stuff like
that you can
I like
help
to work
with.
a lot on inner child as well. Wow. Yeah, inner child empowerment.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then there's also
Eckhart Tolle.
Okay.
I've
Yes.
read some of his books, listened to some of his tapes. So it's about that, right? You were your inner child. Interesting.
Yeah, so it all integrates kasi. You know, there's a lot, all these influence somehow are like sticky.
I know.
Sticking together. They're somehow connected. Just like a past life. A
Yeah.
recent past life is actually
Very
integrated in your psyche because it's recent.
yes. So it's quite
So-
still influential. In
Yes. So the things that you did in your recent past life, what happens there is
So you read past lives too? I mean,
it comes up. Yeah, it will come up.
Okay.
If it affects you, if it's a weakness to what your issue is, if a
It will
past life
come
is
out.
there, then we strengthen it.
I see.
So the goal is not to really get back to the story. I mean, regression's okay if you want to know, okay, I was this in my past life. But we don't want to get hooked to the story
yes, of
kasi,
course. Oh, you're
kasi
out of there already.
we're gonna loop it in. So we just, see all these weaknesses, saan ba galing yan? So it's about, I'm just really curious, saan galing to? Why is it like that? Okay, so if it's epigenetics, strengthen that. If it's, let's say, past life, okay, we'll clear that part out. And then if it's necessary, I will tell na lang. I will tell the client, okay, this is why it is. That's why maybe this is what's happening. Why you have phobia with this, or why somehow you're self-sabotaging yourself from that. And it's not only about epigenetics and past lives. It's also about your inner child trauma,
Right.
right? It can be also something about not only in your inner child when you're an adult. Like if you talk about the collective trauma, it's the pandemic.
Right.
You know what I mean? So these are all these little things that we tend to somehow we think we're okay with it,
Yeah.
but energetically it's just in your space. So we just want to, again, the word is clear. We
Is,
wanna
is there like
clear.
is there a story you can share with us that would illustrate how effective such modalities are on a person's life?
Yeah, okay. So like a simple one would be like a client saw me for a failed marriage.
Okay.
Okay, like
All right.
like her husband was cheating on her. Okay, so we worked. So that was That was actually Ancestral Astrology. Yeah, that was Ancestral Astrology. So worked on that, and so there were series of unrequited love, not only from epigenetics from her ancestors,
I see.
but there's also like from past lives. So we just strengthened all of that, and then and then after that, like after I don't know, I just found out na lang later on that she's seeing someone na dating someone new, mga ganon. And then meron din mga a client that she was abused by her husband, right? So the unconscious patterns were from epigenetic side of just being oppressed and invalidated as a woman,
I see.
So we worked on that, and then now she's like thriving, independently, empowered with her children.
Very nice.
Yes. So, but it's not like, okay, we worked on that, okay ka na.
Oh,
It's more of like, what do you need to do? You have to work on your mental health,
Right.
emotional health. You have to tune into your body. You have to make sure you know when you're overwhelmed, where is that coming from? So I also give tools for that.
I see.
Like videos of, some videos lang from Instagram who I follow, and then you just work on this, learn how to process. Maybe you need to journal,
Yeah.
It's sort of like a psychotherapy practice then. Yeah, because I would want to encourage my clients to always do it on their own. I want them to be empowered, not to constantly come back and say, Anna, how come this is not fixed?
Depending on you
Yeah,
already.
because a lot of clients, they want quick fixes.
Oh.
Quick fixes, yeah.
Let's talk some more about some of those problems that usually you encounter in your practice after a short break.
Okay.
And this break is brought to you by Bayad Center. Hashtag bigger, better, younger bayad. And you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart. Live more today. Union Bank. It starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Utol, once just a colloquial term for a brother or sister. Today, the same term stands for a better option to your transportation needs. Unified Transport Operations League, or better known as Utol, was established to give you an alternative to ride-hailing, with the concept of availing the service with care and compassion, as if it was rendered by your own sibling.
Utol ka ba? Dito ka na. Utol ka, iingatan kita.
Now, who would you prefer to drive you home?
Utol ako, mangangalaga sa'yo.
Utol, the ride-hailing app to consider.
Welcome back to Pairfect. We're still here with Anna talking about ancestral clearing, right? What are some of the misconceptions about that?
Okay, when they come and see me, they usually want a quick fix. Okay, after this, okay na? Yung ganon. So,
One session.
You have to do your job. So let's say I would have like clients who like, okay, I want a love life.
Okay.
How come, Anna, I've seen you so many times, wala pa akong love life. Yung mga ganyan. Because it's really not about the love life. But look how you have evolved from it. So they always sometimes they hyper-focus on an issue, but they never realize of how they have grown and evolved already.
Yeah, no? Para people just rely on
Yes, because
the
sometimes,
outside.
yeah, if it's karmic, right? Sometimes if it's karmic, like the things that you have done in your past lives, and then in your DNA, may issues talagang ganyan,
Yeah.
then you have no other way to do it but go through it. Because with karma, they were debts from the past.
So you have
That
to
you
go
have to-
through it talaga.
Yeah, pay through it. You have to go through it, pay through it, and then the goal kasi of karma is also lessons. You have to find out, ano bang lesson ko dito? Sometimes you go on a loop.
Yeah.
And when we go on a loop, we're going like, what is this? Why is this happening again? Well, maybe because there's this other stuff that you need to learn pa.
Oo nga.
So,
Pero ano, don't you get people asking if this has anything to do with their religion or whatever? It's nothing to do with that. Does it have something to do with that?
with the ancestors, when I do ancestral clearing, religion is huge. Because our ancestors tend to spiritual bypass. So what they do is, and we're still like that, you know, like, okay, we pray our fathers and glory bees and our novenas, and God will take care of everything.
Diba?
Yes, God will. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's part of mental health too. But we also have to work on our emotional hurts and pains and be angry if we need to be angry. The thing is, because we tend to suppress it. Our ancestors suppress it, and so we think, okay, God will do this already, and you know, we'll take care of it. Siya nang bahala. Ganyan. So, ang nangyayari is, parang, it was never been discussed what the pain was. Right? This needs to be addressed, and this is how we need to find peace with. So, what I do is, and now it's getting to be an issue na rin with the other side of New Age, the spiritual bypassing then, that's, what do you call that? It's toxic positivity. So it's the same thing, you just think of positive thoughts. Wag na yan, wag na yan, wag mo na isipin yan. But the truth is, you're being gaslighted because you have been invalidated. So that's huge also that I see ancestrally is invalidation epigenetics. We have been invalidated and neglected of our thoughts, how we express ourselves, because they neglected and to nurture us, because this was the correct way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that religion now is like, okay, this is religion, but spiritually, how are you naman in that path? And
Kaya
faith.
pala. Kaya mga disconnect Di ba?
Of communication.
Yes.
So this is where neglect trauma comes in naman. If you've been constantly invalidated, hindi wag yan. You take this course because this course is may pera dyan. Ganyan, ganyan. But what for you, this is your truth. Ito yung gusto mo because this is what you talagang passionate about. What you follow it. Because ito dapat yon. So it's the same. That's the consciousness that I always see, especially Filipino consciousness.
Oo nga.
Filipino consciousness also has a lot with ancestral martyr, self-pity, suffering because of religion.
Yes.
That we, just have to accept it. We have to be kind. We have to be good. Kahit na, let's say, they have been abusive or just take it.
My
just
God,
be kind.
yeah, that's so
diba?
true.
Yeah, so
Excuse me.
So parang, yeah.
There's a lot of
that's very
changing of
common.
mindsets for you.
One person at a time.
Yeah. So for those who would like to explore their ancestry and hopefully clear some of the traumas that you were talking about, what are the simple steps that you would recommend for them to do?
Awareness. So seeing the patterns of what they say, like, okay, like just watching and observing your parents on their belief systems, and then you ask yourself, do I believe that as well? Are those also the behavioral patterns, right? Also, what's in your head, these are the core beliefs, right? So you see it also because they have influenced you greatly, right? Just observing and just saying, okay, I got it from that. And then also what I tell pala my clients is, what are the things, as this would be a self-care, this is the best for me, okay?
Alright.
For self-care is, what are the things that your parents didn't do that you should do? That's when it comes to self-care.
But how do you identify that?
You just observe. What are the things? Why are they like that? And what is it that they didn't do that maybe you should do?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That alone already, you'll see a lot of answers there.
Oo nga. But that really, you really have to like stop and think about things. No, introspection is so important.
Yes, it's important to understand also why they are like that. But how do we understand it? First of all, we need to first understand why are we reacting this way.
Yeah, no.
Okay, where's this coming from? Is it because since I was a child, my mom has been invalidating me? She's always been pointing out the things that, my mistakes, my failures, but has she ever told me that she loved me?
Yeah.
Did she ever said that, hey, Anna, you did a good job? There wasn't like that, siguro, in that communication dynamics. So when you start understanding that, then you start reparenting yourself. You acknowledge, okay, because they have also gone through the same communication patterns
Yeah.
from their parents.
But I'm sure like all these questions come up in a person's life throughout, and I guess I'm seeing the importance of having knowledgeable people guiding you through it, diba?
Yes.
So with a practice like yours, and in the healing house, diba?
Yeah. And that's not also in the healing house. I mean, there's a lot in social media and all of that. It's just really about, I think people should start being curious, and to learn more things and to start and be more critical. Self-critical thinking, to learn new things and then ask questions about why am I like this? Where is it coming from? Curiosity is the key.
Good one. So right now, I think I see a lot of interest in modalities like that, and I'd like to ask you, you've been doing this for how many years now?
Professionally, since 2017, but practicing and learning since 2011.
Oh, long time. Are you the only person capable of this ancestry
Ancestral
clearing?
clearing, no,
There are many.
there are many. There are many.
How do you see the future of this practice?
I think it's really important. I think we forget, in order to understand more of yourself, you have to know your history.
Right.
So once you like take those pieces in your psyche, right, and you understand why you feel that way, then you also take the strengths,
Right.
right, and that's it.
So beautiful. Thank you for explaining to us.
Well, thank you for
What you do.
listening and asking and
Thank you
for this
so much.
opportunity.
And I think you've really just reminded a lot of us to something very basic, learn to ask questions, right?
Yes, be curious.
Be curious. Very nice. So before we end, before we say goodbye, perhaps you would like to impart some more, a message to our viewers.
Oh gosh, I guess I said a lot of things already. Well, I guess it's
To
just
summarize.
to summarize it. The more you know about yourself, the more you just like put down, to see what are the things why you aren't contented, or there's this insatiable quality in yourself that parang you're like anong kulang. Then the more you have to ask, go deeper and seek for help.
Yes.
That's when you start doing it.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
It was such a delight having you on our show.
Thank you.
I've learned so much, really. I mean, I have so many more questions, but
Yeah.
very much. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. So I hope everybody also had a truly eye-opening experience or afternoon, realizing how our ancestors' experiences shape our lives and potential. So to our viewers, remember, delving into your family history isn't just an exploration, it's a pathway to healing and empowerment. Think of it as unearthing hidden gems that can illuminate your journey ahead. So this is Dinah Ventura encouraging you to embrace your story, both the highs and the lows, because every chapter contributes to the masterpiece that is you. So until next time, keep shining and stay curious, everyone.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Meralco.
Alam nyo ba kung saan napupunta ang binabayad nyo sa Meralco? Dito sa series na ito, isa-isahin natin yan para maipaliwanag ko po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Joe Saldarriaga ng Meralco Corporate Communication Office. Alam nyo ba na pag nagbabayad kayo ng bill sa kuryente, nasa mga 20% lang on the average ang napupunta sa Meralco? Sa katotohanan, nahahati sa iba't ibang components ang inyong electricity bill. Kumbaga parang pizza lang yan. Kasama sa binabayaran natin ay ang generation charge na napupunta sa generation companies o mga nag-ooperate ng power plants, transmission charge na napupunta sa System Grid Operator ng Pilipinas, na National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, at iba-ibang charges na napupunta sa gobyerno. Tulad po ito ng mga subsidies, taxes, universal charges at fit-all. Kung tutuusin, tulad nga nabanggit ko, nasa around 20% on the average ang kabuang bill ang binabayad sa Meralco sa pamamagitan ng distribution charge. Ito na ang pinaka-epektibong sistema para sa electricity consumers. Iwas abala ito para hindi na isa-isahin pang bayaran ng iba't ibang kumpanya na dinadaanan ng kuryente. Naway, nabigyan linaw ko po kayo kahit papano sa inyong mga katanungan ukol sa inyong electricity bill. Hanggang sa muli, ako po si Manong Joe, ang inyong lingkod.